August the 22nd, 2019. Guys, a quick update on the Atlantic, and the system that we're watching in the Bahamas has now went to a 30% chance of formation over the next 2 days and a 50% chance of formation over the next 5 days. So it's time to really start paying attention to it. And you can see that it's growing in size. Now, it's kind of predicted to move a little closer to Florida and start headed up the East Coast. The current models show it strengthening, especially by the time it gets to the Outer Banks. And we're going to look at a few different things in this video, but this is the current images as sun sets this afternoon, this evening, and it switches over to infrared. Now, tomorrow as the sun rises, barring any outside interference, this thing could rapidly strengthen, and that's what we've seen today. Also watching the system in the Gulf of Mexico. 2-day forecast. It says as of 8 p.m. tonight, satellite and surface observations show that a broad area of low pressure has formed just northwest of Andros Islands in the central Bahamas. This system continues to produce a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms that extend eastward over the western Atlantic for a few hundred miles. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for additional development during the next several days, and a tropical depression could form over the weekend. Listen now, today's Thursday. Let's go to the 5-day forecast. We're jumping to a 50% chance. Now, it's the same wording. It says, again, environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for additional development during the next several days. Depression could form over the weekend or early next week while the system moves near the coast of east central Florida and then offshore of the southeast U.S. We will, regardless of development, local heavy rains are possible over portions of the central and northeast Bahamas and the east central and southeast Florida peninsula during the next few days. And guys, if you look at this map in the orange cone, that's not the size of the storm. I want you to always remember that. That's the path left or right that they are now predicting for the center of whatever develops. Now, we've got a front moving across the U.S., just normal for this time of the year. We have a very large system in the Gulf of Mexico, too. And we'll look at it a little closer, but this front that's moving across the U.S. from west to east or left to right on this map will affect the storm that's in the Bahamas. At what time or at what point will that pick it up? Not sure yet, but it definitely looks like it will change. As the closer it gets to Florida and starts moving up the coast, it's going to be caught up in that area. Some of the models are showing, the Outer Banks. But as we look at this changing from day to night, going into infrared, you can see the center circulation in the area in the Bahamas. And if you go into infrared, and you look very closely at the system in the Gulf, and you can see that it's going to create a lot of moisture starting tonight, already down in the New Orleans area. You can see that there's some surface rotation at the very surface, and that's indicated in this infrared image in the white layer below these cloud tops. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Either way, we're going to see a lot of moisture coming out of really both areas. And if you look at the European model, this has changed from this morning on both areas that we're watching. Notice your timestamp in the red at the top. It's showing, again, the storm is increasing in strength. 24th, that will be Saturday, going into Sunday, 25th. You start seeing the low pressure wrap up. And here's where I would be concerned if I was in the Outer Banks, as it skirts up through that area. And the way that they protrude into the Atlantic, you could have some problems there. Now, these models are going to change. We know that as they start naming the storms, we'll start getting spaghetti models. But we know that they will veer either west or east as each day goes by. And if you look at it, it goes up through, again, off the West Banks, and according to this model, out into the Atlantic following Chantal. Now, on the 30th, In the very center of the screen is the storm that we are watching off of, that's coming off the coast of Africa. Right there, that's August 30th. It shows it maintaining its integrity. Low pressure is increasing. Now we're at September the 1st. It's coming in over the Windward Islands. And this model ends at that point, September 1st. You see where this is at? Also, and you've got another system coming off the coast of Africa. If we kind of look at it and back it up to the 24th, look over the Gulf of Mexico, just in case. You can kind of see that it's starting to have a center of low pressure there. Moving up through the 24th, it's headed towards the Louisiana coast. Going into the, again, 24th, 25th. And skirting in around the New Orleans area. As again, it could just be a center of low pressure with a lot of rain. Here's something very amazing. We haven't seen this all year. The Saharan air layer forecast is clear. Not even a light layer. For you guys that have been here for a while, you've seen this almost completely covered in that sand layer. It's gone. Now, also, you can see, looking at the Vinci Sky wind speeds, there's Chantal in the top center. Here is rotation being picked up off Dakar, Africa, of the system we're watching there. Also, if you look all the way to the left, our friends in Hawaii, you have Ivo. And as it moves towards your area, we'll just have to watch it. But right now, it's the strongest system anywhere on the map we're watching. And you can see that there is low pressure disturbance over the Bahamas north of Cuba there indicated on this map. That's what we're going to be watching for. But again, that system coming off Dakar, Africa, we'll have to watch it very closely. Normally, and if you remember for the last few months, as we watch these systems come through here, that Saharan sand layer, dust layer in the upper atmosphere was wiping these things out. And as you saw just then, that's non-existent. Guys, I just wanted to come in with this update. It's been a busy day. But when they change that storm that close to Florida, we have to do it. So it's a heads up. And we will watch it very closely. If it strengthens next to the, as it gets closer to the coast, watch for live streams covering this storm, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.